Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of GBTV. We're finally back after a long weekend of Legacy.
Yep.
And we woke up before we drove back to Roanoke and we found out that the entire spoiler's out.
Yeah, that was awesome. I went from my hotel room to Brad's hotel room, and I was like, oh, let's see if there are any cards. And I was just like, the whole thing's up. Yeah. So I started going through and...
Yeah, we spent the entire drive home talking about this or reading books or whatever, but
yeah,
a lot of talking about M13. And we've got a list of cards that are our favorites that we haven't play tested with yet. So if you guys want to look back at some of the cards that we're just going to honorable mention today and see us play test with them, they're pretty sweet.
Yeah. First one was Rancor.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that card was insane back in the day. It's still insane now. I played it in an Infect deck and just beat the crap out of Brad. It was awesome. But, I mean, that card's good in, like, any green-based aggro deck, basically. So... you'll probably be seeing a lot of that card in the future.
Yeah, I think it's great that they're letting M12 and M13 play together for a couple months.
Yeah.
Because, Dungrove is like one of these cards that I think they really wanted to be good.
Yeah,
and
it's so close.
Yeah, but without a Warren piece, it just gets chump blocked for days. Yeah. So Rancor is probably going to give it some life for a couple months.
Yep.
I'm excited to see that. Next up is my favorite card in the set, probably favorite card to be printed in the last, 3 years.
Yeah, I like it a lot, too.
Yeah, Talrand the Sky Summoner, without the...
Yeah.
He's this amazing card that just generates a bunch of bodies. I don't understand how a person can attack into you if they can't get it off the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard because it's like, well, does he have one thing? Does he have two things? Yeah. Can I beat any number of them? Should I try and shock his guy? But he's going to mutagenic growth it, and then I can't attack anyway.
Yeah, and there's never been a card that I've ever played with that rewards cantripping into cantrips.
Yeah.
So, I just want to, ponder into a Thought Scour and a Probe and then try to find another one and just generate a bunch of tutus. So, he's awesome. I'm going to be playing him the first chance I get in the tournament. The Buffalo Open that I'll be attending, I don't think there's any chance that I'm not playing a Talrand Delver deck.
Yeah.
Mono Blue Wizards all the way, probably. Next up is one of your favorite cards.
Vampire Nighthawk. I've liked this card more of... as a control card than an aggressive card. There are vampires, there are aggressive vampire decks with Vampire Nocturnus and stuff, but Nighthawk doesn't really fit in those decks very well. It's not a very aggressive creature. I just want it as a mini Baneslayer Angel against these Strangler Geist decks pretty much. And when we played Mono Black Control against Green-Red aggro, it was pretty good.
It was fine.
The problem was that you had all the haste guys instead of Huntmasters and stuff, so it was a little tougher of a matchup than it should have been. But I think that guy's pretty good. If you're playing something like Mono Black Control, then that guy is probably where you want to be, either main deck or sideboard.
Oh yeah, I mean he's going to trade 1-for-1 all the time, no matter what. You're going to get some life out of it if they're not spending their turn burning it. And if they don't progress their board, you're setting up just to use your Doom Blades and go for the throats reasonably well if they're not progressing. So I like that it is a removal spell that you can proactively play. That's one of the reasons I've always liked Tumble Magnet and things like this when you can play them. Just for control, to be able to put something on the board when there's nothing on there, just is great. But for the most part, I've never played that card outside of a 40-card deck. So
yeah.